Alright boys, we've got another non-LEGO related video to add to the channel. This is just a bunch of background footage of me beating the crap out of a bunch of people on Arkham Knight because it's very stress relieving. Yeah, I'm planning on using more Arkham Knight footage in some of my future videos because I've gotten pretty good at it. I've placed a lot of hours in it. If you couldn't tell by the 240% suit I have right here. And the way you get that is basically you beat the game, you beat the story the first time, and then you beat it on New Game Plus, which was fun. Wow. I mean, I did actually enjoy it. There are just parts of Arkham Knight that I don't really appreciate, like the constant use of the Batmobile. I mean, I prefer more traditional boss fights along the lines of like the Mr. Freeze one in Arkham City and the Deathstroke one from Arkham Origins. Yeah, so recently I've been going back to college and it's been interesting so far. I made the brilliant decision of enrolling in honors English comp even though I've never taken an honors class before. So, real 200 IQ maneuver on my part there, but I mean, I've been getting my work done, so I mean, I guess that's something. I remember, though, I first started English comp back at my old college, the flight school I went to, but I had to leave before I could finish it, so I didn't get any credit for it. Not even partial credit, because it was a couple weeks in, so can't really get anything off of that. I will say one thing that's kind of a pain is this college I'm going to now isn't within walking distance because at my old college, I was in an apartment that was within walking distance, and if I wanted to get to class, I could just walk over there and try and save some gas on my truck. But this college is about 20 minutes away from my house, so, I have to drive all the way over there, which is, doing wonders for my gas tank, but what are you going to do about it? Man, I remember back in college, some pretty funny things used to happen back there. Like there was never a dull moment, let me tell you. Like the apartments we were set up in were kind of like a cul-de-sac or whatever it is you call it, and in each sort of house there's like 4 apartment units, and I was in one of them. And across the street from ours was the student laundromat where you'd go and do your laundry, obviously, and connected to that was the girls' apartment, and there were 3 girls in there, and let's see, what am I going to call them? I'm going to call them Ivy, Chrissy, and Selena. I can't even remember what the last girl's name is to make it up, so that may be her real name. Anywho, so these girls, they didn't leave a good first impression on us. Like the first day of class, I had to stay behind to talk to the teacher about something, but I told the boys, like, yeah, you guys just go on ahead, I'll catch up with you, it'll only take a minute. So, I go do my thing, and I catch up with the boys, and apparently Ivy had pulled these guys to the side and started interrogating them, because she thought one of them had left their boxers on the front yard for about a week, and we don't know whose boxers those were. I was the only guy who was over there to the laundromat, and I didn't see anyone else, so, I didn't know. But she thought it was one of the boys, and, we tried telling her, they tried telling her, I didn't say anything, but they tried explaining to her that, no, we don't know whose underwear those are, and for some reason, she decided to hit press X for doubt, and she didn't believe any of that, and she was, saying things to them like, all accusing like, yeah, sure you don't know who left their underwear out there. And the boys didn't take that too well. So we're walking along, we get back to the apartment, and Chrissy was out there, and she was trying to apologize to them, and she was like, man, I don't know what got into her, I'm sorry about that. She can be a little squirrely. And then I think one of the guys said something like, yeah, she really needs to really take a chill pill. And unfortunately for everyone involved, Ivy overheard that because she comes storming out of her apartment like, oh, I need to take a chill pill? Really confrontational like. So this whole back and forth occurs of, the boys were trying to say like, you accused us and you don't even know us. And she was like, well, whose underwear is that? This whole back and forth. And then they start talking about who's going to report who to the president of housing or whoever it was. But eventually, we get to realizing this argument is stupid, and Chrissy's like, you know what, I'm going to end this now. She picks up the boxers and just disposes of them. A couple final words are said, and we all head back to our apartments. Well, the boys, they were a little wound up after that. They started talking about how they were going to get her back. They were going to do all this stuff to her. They were going to show her what happens when you mess with them, blah, 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 blah. They're just talking all that, and I'm just sitting there, laughing along, not really saying anything, because I didn't really want to get involved. But, yeah, I'm just standing there listening to them talk, and then I look out the window, and I see a pair of legs. I try to signal to the guys, like, guys, someone's coming, but, they can't hear me, because they're being pretty loud. And then the doorbell rings, and they all kind of stop, and they look at each other for a couple of seconds, and then they hit that thing they do in Scooby-Doo where they jump up in the air and their legs start moving and they take off running down running away. Yeah, they do that all the way down the hall to the nearest bedroom, shut the door behind it and lock it. And so then I go to answer the door, expecting the worst, but it wasn't even one of the other girls. It was just a guy who had overheard them and, came to laugh along with them. Yeah, if I had to bet, I don't think Ivy, would have gotten an A plus in friend making 101. So after that, I think the next thing that happened was we were in class and we were studying airspaces, and we weren't getting it. Like, we all collectively it wasn't clicking with us. And so then Bert, he's a guy who hung out with us a lot, He basically lived in our apartment, but without actually living there. He was one of us. And he was the smartest guy in the class. Like, he studied the most out of all of us, like, clearly top of the class. And, he's speaking for everyone, like, we need to study airspaces a bit more because it's just, not registering with us. And, we're all kind of in agreement, like, yeah, he's right. And so, we get some extra studying time, which, we're all grateful for. But for some reason, Ivy didn't appreciate that too much and didn't like him answering all these questions in class. And, she told him, like, you should try shutting up more or something like that. And that really set him off because during the original disagreement, he tried to be a mediator and, be a neutral third party. And then when she came at him like that, that really set him off. And yeah, that was another thing Ivy did that nobody really liked. And, people were always giving her crap about stuff, and, the guys, they didn't really vibe with that too much. So, I guess it kind of goes to show you how important first impressions are in college. But yeah, no. I think the last thing that I remember happening was with me, because I remember one time I decided I was going to mess with her. So she decided to have her birthday party at her apartment for her 19th or 20th birthday. And, she's all dressed up and stuff, having a good time. And I decided, you know what? Tonight's the night I'm going to mess with her. So, I go up to her and I'm acting all dramatic, like I'm like, Ivy, I have something to tell you. Ever since I first laid eyes upon you, there's only one thought that's been racing through my mind. And she's like, well, what is it? And, I get real close to her, act like I'm going to tell her something really important. And then I just go, that was my underwear on the front yard. And then she goes something like, are you serious? And I just started laughing. I'm like, no, of course I'm not serious. But I'll never forget the look on her face because she actually thought I was being serious. But yeah, no, that was like the last thing that really happened with her, that I really messed with her before I had to leave college. But yeah, that was just a little bit of Arkham gameplay with some dumb college stories from Dakota. If you guys want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to drop a comment and let me know. I really appreciate your guys' feedback. Also, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.